Hey guys, I saw a video that um, showed some footage from, I believe it was MSNBC, and I saw something and I heard something that solved a long time question, mystery, that I had in my head from so many years of people saying that Trump said this, this, and this when I know he didn't. And I said, are your ears clogged up? So you heard all, because they said, I heard him speak and I heard what he said, I heard everything. And I'm like, I watch the man all the time. Fox News had him. Whenever he spoke, he was there. So, Fox News never missed any moment that Trump spoke. So, whoever this guy was, he's like, are we talking about two Trumps here? But what I saw on this video answered that question. And I believe it's so egregious that I'm surprised. Maybe I'm the one who caught it, and maybe nobody else caught it. And for that, I guess I'm pretty smart, huh? Well, because I guess, when you're looking for stuff, you have one person look for it, can't find it. They go all over, can't find it. Second person looks, can't find it. Third person looks, can't find it. And I'm thinking, okay, I guess it's lost forever. A fourth person comes along and finds it. I said, where was it? Right there. And they were looking there. They didn't see it. So, maybe it takes one person to notice it and comment on it or whatever and have it make sense. Okay. Now, I wrote this down. And I want to read it to you. Okay. MSNBC said very clearly and very distinctly, we will not let you hear Trump's, maybe they didn't say it, but this is what was inferred, okay? Because they said, we will not air untruths, but we will tell you what he said. And that made me think, now wait a minute, wait a minute. You're not gonna air untruths, but you're gonna tell us what he said? If you're gonna tell us what he said, why not let him speak? Then you won't have to go through the bother and the hassle of telling us what he said. Okay. So I basically paraphrased it. Okay. This is basically the message. You see, messages do not necessarily need to be verbatim word for word. Messages can be conveyed without stating that message verbatim word for word. Okay, so the message that MSNBC conveyed to the viewers is, we will not let you hear Trump speak in his own words. Because, and this is what they said, we have a solemn duty not to air untruths. So the second part is exact quote. The first part is a conclusion based on that. So if you are not going to convey untruths, but we will not let you hear him. If you believe, because for you to not let Trump speak because you do not air, because you believe he's lying, okay, that's the only reason why you would not let him speak, because you have a duty not to air untruths. So when you don't let him speak, okay, that's why, okay, because you believe he will speak untruths, so that's why you say we will not air untruths, okay, because you believe he's lying, okay, so that's why I said that the message is, we will not let you hear Trump speak in his own words, because we have a solemn duty not to air untruths. But we will tell you, and this is what they did say, we will tell you what Trump said. We will tell you what Trump said. Ha. I remember an old video where they were talking about the viewers thinking. And I think they said that Trump, and they will tell you what to think, and his co-anchor or co-host or whatever said, nah, that's our job. Ah ha 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 ha. Ah ha ha. So they admitted that it is their job to tell you what to think. So they aired that. And they said, we will tell you what to think. That's our job. Our job is to tell you what to think. And now they basically said, we will not let you hear Trump speak in his own words, because it is a solemn duty not to air untruths. However, we will tell you what he said. Well, I think I wrote this down. Okay, tell you what he said. If you're going to tell us what he said, then you will air untruths, because you are telling us what he said, right? If it is your solemn duty not to air untruths, and that's why you don't let him speak in his own words, but you're going to tell us what he said, okay? Well, if you're telling us what he said, I agree with you, sir. Now, please, go to your own meeting. I'm over here. Thank you. Yeah. Then you are conveying untruths. If you're telling us what Trump said, and you say that Trump speaks untruths, and that's why you don't let him speak in his own words, if you're going to tell us what he said, then you are conveying untruths, not him. Because you're telling us what he said. And if what he said is untrue, and you tell us what he said, then it is you who are telling us what he said on his behalf. Okay, that's what that means. So that doesn't make any sense. Now I understand how lies about what Trump said spread through the liberal and democratic community by changing what he said. That's how they tell you what he said, by changing what he said so that it wouldn't be a lie, as far as they're concerned. Okay. Then I wonder, how many times did they do that? I remember one case when Trump was speaking and they started viewing it or airing it, and then about 30 seconds in, they cut away and they said, we know what he's going to say. We know what he's going to say. Then why the hell did you start? Why did you start to air broadcast his speech if you knew what he was going to say? That's stupid. They don't bother. But they did, probably hoping that he will follow their narrative. Okay, which of course he won't, because they're on two separate tracks here. Okay. Okay, by changing what he said instead of letting him speak. But they love talking about Trump, but will not let him speak. Now I can ask liberals, when quoting Trump, did you actually hear him say that, or were you told what he said? And most likely, they will, I don't know if they will even answer that. Okay, because if they answered that and admitted that they didn't hear him say it, but they heard someone else tell him what he said, okay, then that blows their position, okay? Okay. In legal terms, that is called hearsay. Inadmissible in court as proof okay. Inadmissible as proof and evidence. Hearsay is not reliable. Okay. Just like Adam Schiffer-Brains composed a fictitious phone call between Trump and Ukraine and read it aloud, again, hearsay, just as Trump released the actual transcript of the call. What is the point of doing that? This is literally putting words in somebody else's mouth. And that's what they did when Trump left the Georgia jailhouse and speak. And they're going to tell us what he said by changing what he said. So they're literally putting words in his mouth. Okay. It is the okay, this is good. I thought of this, okay? This is the communication version of identity theft. What is identity theft? Think about it. You know what identity theft is. I don't need to tell you. But this is the communication version of identity theft. Okay. Or hacking someone's Facebook account and pretending to be the person whose account they hacked. Again, hacking an account, identity theft, and making up fiction or making up something that somebody said. Okay. It is disgusting. Trump was correct in calling it fake news because everything is fake and fictitious. Their quote of Trump is fictitious. It is untrue. It is the Jerry Springer of news networks. I've said that before. And it bears repeating. When they reported, quote unquote, on Trump's mugshot, he wrote, okay, I'm sorry, let me start that. When they, quote unquote, reported on Trump's mugshot and what he wrote on that tweet, okay, instead of showing it, so it's irrefutable proof, so we can see it for ourselves, and we can make a judgment on it, instead of doing that, they took it out of context by omitting the statement before the one they chose to air or mention. So, under the mugshot, it said, election interference, never surrender. That's what it said. Election interference, never surrender. Do they mention the election interference? No, of course not. Because that would blow their whole narrative. So they mentioned the second part, which is never surrender. And because they only mentioned the second part of that, they were free to put a spin on it and give it a meaning it was never intended in the first place. Because if you're going to read us what he wrote, don't take it out of context and only give us a little piece of it. Give us what comes before it. Okay? This is very manipulative and deceptive. I said, written down, it is very deceptive manipulation by CNN and MSNBC. So, and I want to finish this up with something I thought about when they talk about narrative. that, now everybody's talking about this is their narrative. What is a narrative? Okay. A narrative is a literary term. It refers to a work of fiction, basically. When they review a literary piece of work, they mention this is the narrative of the story. Okay. When you're reporting news, you're not supposed to have a narrative of events. You're supposed to report on the events. And the networks and CNN and MSNBC and all the mainstream media do not report events like they used to when Cronkite and when the New York Times and the Daily News were reputable newspapers. They reported events. They did not create a fiction, a work of fiction, to spread. I mean, that is so beneath the whole business of journalism. Journalism is not making up stories. Okay. Fiction writers make up stories. I've written fiction. I have lots of narratives. I have lots of stories. The narratives of my stories are great. I love my narratives. They're wonderful. Because that's fiction. And that's what a narrative is. Fiction. Facts of events is what journalism is. And that is what's called news. And I still remember that commercial about, I only watch news I agree with. Do you know how ridiculous you sound? I only watch news I agree with. Ha ha ha! I only listen to opinions I agree with, you idiot. Not news. You don't agree with news. You agree with someone's opinion. Who agrees with one's news? Yeah, I agree with this news. What do you mean you agree with it? News is reporting of facts. What's there to agree with? That is the most absurd line I've ever heard in my life. I only watch news I agree with. I think you need a reset and come back and talk to us. Because your thinking is screwed up. You don't agree with news. You agree with opinions. You don't agree with news. I mean, come on. I mean, a 5-year-old would know better than to say something like that. I mean, really, you agree with news? That makes no sense. Absolutely no sense. Anyway, that's what that's all I wanted to talk about. So, thank you for watching. Thanks for listening. And I'll take care, and I'll see you later. Take care, guys. See you soon. Bye.